If you haven't seen the previous video in this series, follow the link on your screen or click the link in the description or pinned comment below.
And every year our family blessings grow. There's just a lot you simply got to know. So, welcome to the family Madrigal, the home of the family Madrigal. We're on our way, where all the people are fantastical and magical. I'm part of the family Madrigal.
Adios.
Disney trying to flex on the other animation studios despite the average number of films it puts out per year being, well, pretty average.
I see you stopped sinning the Disney intro sequence, which, would be a positive if you hadn't moved on to making random accusations. How is this a flex? This is their 60th movie. That's kind of a big deal, and they're commemorating the event. Besides, how many animation studios have put out half that many motion pictures? Even if they put out 2 a year, it would take them 30 years to catch up to Disney.
But in our darkest moment, we were given a miracle.
And instead of fleeing from the sudden and terrifying terraforming before me, I decided to move into a nearby self-constructed sentient house. Seemed like the thing to do.
What CinemaSins isn't showing you here is not only did the mountains grow all around Alma, meaning there was nowhere she could run because she was being surrounded, the mountains stopped growing and then the house sprang into existence. The way CinemaSins has cut this scene makes it look like the mountains sprang up and she ran into an already erected house.
Our casita itself came alive to shelter us.
Abuela immediately assumes the house is helping and forgets that 90% of the time this is an indication of malevolent supernatural forces.
Well, when you cut out the fact that the house sprang up from a damn magical candle and ignore that it's waving to Alma, yeah, I could see how you would think that.
I know the house is trying to be helpful, but this trick still relies on Mirabelle being able to catch her glasses without the use of glasses.
Or Mirabelle is nearsighted.
Okay, how does this house work? Do the stairs always turn into a slide? Or is the house always in your head and knows when you want to slide as opposed to step? The former seems super f***ing dangerous, and the latter seems super f***ing creepy.
No, Jeremy, we're not going to do this today. This man questions magic in literally every film that features magic, and frankly, this nonsense exhausts me.
I'm only part of the amazing Madrigals.
The amazing Madrigals are not a family of trapeze artists in this movie.
That's Graysonist.
Who's all the amazing Madrigals?
These f***ing kids seriously don't know who the Madrigals are? This entire community is built around this house and the magical people inside it. How do they even know enough to ask about the gift ceremony tonight if they don't know who the damn family is?
But it is a large community. These are very young children learning about the history of their community. Do you think they came out of the womb with this information? They had to learn about it sometime, and today was that day, especially since there hadn't been a gift ceremony in 10 years.
Oh my gosh, it's them!
Them who? A couple of minutes ago, you didn't have a clue who the Madrigals were.
And a couple of minutes ago, they learned who they were, complete with pictures.
We don't talk about Bruno.
Apart from all the times they talk about Bruno, sing about Bruno, talk about Bruno, and talk about Bruno. Bruno.
Saying that they don't talk about Bruno and explaining why they don't is not talking about Bruno. Kind of like this scene from Family Guy.
Me llamo es Brian.
Yeah, that was pretty good. But actually, when you said me llamo es Brian, you don't need the ace. Just me llamo Brian.
Oh, you speak English?
No, just that first speech and this one explaining it.
You're kidding, right?
¿Qué?
Mirabelle is singing about how her dad and uncle married her mom and aunt and claims that those marriages are how Abuela became an Abuela. But that's not what I learned from the Baby's episode of How It's Made. Marriage is not even a necessary step in the fermentation process.
What? Look, I understand you're making a joke here, but the implication is that all she means is marriage. Fam, this is an animated family film. They're not going to say that Augustine stuck his dick. No, just use this.
Mirabelle's description of Isabella was graceful and perfect in every way, but her gift is plants, right? I mean, plants are great. I love plants, but how does that equate to grace and beauty?
You serious? How does the universal symbol of beauty across pretty much every culture on the planet and the thing most women love receiving on a date equate to grace and beauty? What?
Also, Mirabelle sings about strength and beauty as if the two are mutually exclusive. Has the movie not been to CinemaSins?
Let's be honest here. The vast majority of people don't think of muscular women as beautiful. I personally think they're incredibly stupid because I adore muscular women and find them hot as hell. I mean, you're not going to tell me this woman isn't a beauty and a beast. And no, I'm not going to tell you who this is because I want to save her for my damn self. But the movie isn't saying this at all. All they're saying is one is strong and one is a beauty.
This small village somehow has a thriving accordion industry?
Jeremy is unaware of just how prevalent accordions are in Spanish-speaking music.
Mirabelle goes into rhythmic detail about her family, but speeds past any explanation regarding her father's contribution to this town, and why his job affords him the time to chop wood in 2 out of the 3 pieces of this suit.
This is because the song is about the magical madrigals, and Augustine married into the family and, strangely enough, took his wife's last name. He's not that important, is what I'm saying.
This musical sequence was so entertaining that I'm not even upset at the volume of exposition I just got crammed down my throat, but I am upset that I had to watch it 5 times to catch all that info.
Jeremy sends something he likes cliche.
What are you doing?
What does she mean, what are you doing? Abuela was part of the damn song.
As you just said, this song went on for a while. Mirabelle is supposed to be helping prepare for the ceremony, so that's what she meant.
Oh, Mirabel didn't get one.
Thanks, Dolores. For a moment, I wanted to blame Abuela pretty hard for making Mirabelle feel like an outcast, but like this clearly shows that the whole family is complicit. The problem is that by the end of this thing, the movie wants us to believe that Abuela Alma was the only one that needed to learn a lesson.
All she did was state a fact. What do you want her to do, sugarcoat the truth? Aside from her sister and grandmother, no one treats her differently. They just accept she doesn't shine.
Gift or no gift, I am just as special as the rest of my family.
No, the truth is that you do have a gift, a superhuman level of empathy for these assholes. What you don't have is a door.
Dang. For a moment there, I thought you were going to point out that Mirabelle's gift was her stronger connection to Casita, but you went with yelling at the screen.
Camilo, we need another Jose.
No, you don't. You need someone a few inches taller than Jose, or a stool.
But if you have Mystique sitting right there doing nothing... Oh, and why would they need someone a few inches taller than Jose when Jose is already tall enough? What the hell are you talking about?
Repositioning the flimsy flammable thing after you've inserted the wobbly ignitey thing.
I have absolutely no idea what CinemaSins is getting at here. For one, they've spliced 3 different scenes into one. You can see Isabella's name here, and then Abuela's name here. Then the fabric didn't catch fire until a little later, so I'm left wondering, what did the words Jeremy spoke have to do with anything he showed?
The whole town relies on our family, on our gifts.
Not only do the Madrigals treat Mirabelle as if she's incapable of even the simplest tasks because she doesn't have superpowers, but they also seem to extend this belief to the entire damn village, as if they are helpless children that constantly need to be cared for. In short, they believe themselves to be gods, benevolent gods, but gods nonetheless. And the movie never really addresses the problematic nature of this perspective.
Abuela is not only correct, they are technically gods. Seriously, what's the difference between them and the other gods of legend? Mirabelle's mother can heal the sick or injured like Jesus. Camilo can shapeshift like Proteus. Luisa is as strong as Hercules, and Peppa literally controls the weather like Horus. This is why we call the Justice League gods, because the only thing that separates gods from humans are fantastic abilities. And yes, Batman fans, prep time is a superpower.
You have nothing to worry about. You're gonna get your gift and open that door.
This is kind of rich coming from the only person who did not get their gift. This means there is an 11.1% chance that his concerns are going to be validated. Wouldn't it be better to prepare him for that, and maybe that not having superpowers is okay?
It's almost like that's exactly what happens, but you didn't let the scene play or something.
What if it doesn't work?
Well, in that impossible scenario, you'd stay here in the nursery with me. Well, in that impossible scenario, you'd stay here in the nursery with me.
They made Mirabelle stay in the nursery? You're telling me this magical house couldn't magic up a room for her unless she got a gift? I know the standard is fantastical TARDIS rooms, but they couldn't even give her a normal room? This family is the worst.
Ignoring this contradicts your previous sin.
If this is where the donkeys and carts are parked, was there really any need for Luisa to play valet here?
Jeremy thinks the purpose of valet is to park far away instead of simply having a place to park.
It's a great night. It's a perfect night.
Hey, Misery Guts, what happened to...
And seeing you get your special gift and your door, that's gonna make me way more happy than anything.
It's almost like she was trying to console a scared child, even though she still has her own insecurities.
I know the movie is really doing its best to drive home the whole Mirabelle is excluded because she didn't get a gift agenda, but god damn, this is borderline abusive. She's forced to wait backstage instead of standing with her family, receives immense side-eye when she dares to accompany her younger nephew, and now she's straight up excluded from a family portrait. Mirabelle is well within her rights to spin this whole movie into her own evil villain origin story.
This entire sin is one big lie. Mirabelle excluded herself from that photo. Abuela said everyone, and Mirabelle didn't move. She also wasn't side-eyed at Antonio's ceremony. He had to open the door himself. Also, I know you're from Tennessee, but Antonio isn't her nephew, he's her cousin.
Okay, apparently everyone is partying in Junior Doolittle's room, but where did all the decorations go? Yes, I know the house can poof them away and bring them back if needed.
And let me stop you right there because you have just answered yourself.
Music!
As far as we've been told, Louisa doesn't have super speed, so how the f*** did her super strength allow her to get to this piano so quickly?
Excluding Mr. Incredible, it's always been weird to me that people don't realize if you're super strong, it can potentially mean you're super fast. Do you think muscles only exist in the upper body?
If it was all in my head, how did I cut my hand?
True. So why didn't you show that singular piece of physical evidence to Abuela?
Because she cut her off when she tried to explain.
Abuela, I promise that's enough.
There is nothing wrong with La Casa Madrigal. Our community is counting on us.
Yes, but only because you don't seem to be allowing them to fend for themselves.
The only reason there is a community is because of this family. They came here, not the other way around. Like I tell the morons that come to my channel complaining, the Madrigals are holding no one hostage.
Also, why does the church even need moving? Does it really need to be in the center of the street? Is the house that performs actual miracles making it feel insecure?
Checkmate, Christians.
Why the production team felt that half of Louisa's screen time should be spent carrying donkeys, but since this is something that could be easily remedied with a fence, let's hope the next kid's gift is carpentry.
That's what happens when you are talking instead of listening. In the scene, they explain the asses got out of the fence, you donkey.
Everyone thinks it's a deep dark secret as to why Bruno left, but not a single person considered that it might be because this room sucks ass. Sure, it's cool for adventures, but imagine a teenage Bruno bringing a girl back here. You really think that ever worked out for him?
I mean, if she were Laura Croft.
The first 3 random pieces Mirabelle picks up happen to be the ones that contain her picture.
Yeah, so?
Basically, what these people are saying is that the stuff Bruno predicted came true, which, and please forgive me if I'm mistaken, is his f***ing gift, right? Not his fault that the stuff he is seeing turns out to be bad. The shit that happened to these people were either self-fulfilling prophecies or totally out of theirs and Bruno's hands. The real sin is that everyone in the village is on the wrong side of this argument.
People tend to hate what they don't understand. It's clear the people of this village don't know how the powers of the family work, only that they do. In this case, since Bruno usually sees terrible outcomes, they assume he's either the cause or just bad luck. He's like that one negative person that always points out when something is wrong. In other words, Bruno would be excellent at CinemaSins.
I know. She's gonna tell everyone.
But why does she immediately tell everyone? Yeah, she has great hearing, but do we know that she's a big gossip too?
That's literally her ability. You think her super hearing is just for the hell of it? Of course she's a gossip. She just told the family the guy that wants to marry Isabel wants 5 kids with her. The point is that she hears everything, so she knows what's going on around the village. Old Korean ladies would kill for that ability.
Bruno leaves Mirabelle, his niece, to almost certain death, knowing that there's no way she could have known about this drop. Yes, I'm sure the fact that this ends up being a very small drop is supposed to make us feel better, but Bruno is just as f***ing surprised by this. He didn't have a f***ing clue how deep it was.
Jeremy being completely disingenuous, example number 4,738,942. Bruno was not expecting her to even try the gap because he assumed that would end the chase. She was right behind him and saw him avoid it.
So Bruno has a vision about the Encanto being lost, the house breaking, and it all linking back to Mirabelle somehow, and his reaction was to go into hiding and hope the vision didn't come true. Did he really believe that his visions would only come true if he hung around? Would it have been more selfless to take another hit to his own reputation and stick around to figure out the vision and get ahead of it?
Jeremy being completely disingenuous, example number 4,738,943. There is no way he's actually watching this scene and came away with Bruno left because he thought that would prevent the vision from coming true. Bruno explicitly states the vision was not clear, but because it had Mirabelle's face in it, he knew how it would look since people already think he's a bad omen. So he left to protect his niece. All of this is in the scene, and CinemaSins blatantly lied about it.
And I saw the magic in danger. Our house breaking. And then I saw you. It would change. And there was no one answer, no clear fate. But I knew how it was gonna look. I knew what everyone would think because I'm Bruno and everyone always assumes the worst.
You left to protect me?
There sure seems to be a lot of steps to Bruno's gift while everyone else can just kind of make shit happen. How did he learn that he needed an open space, sand, and whatever these leaves are to see into the future?
Because his room provided him with those items.
Isa?
Disrespecting your sibling's privacy by knocking on their door after you've entered their room. No wonder everyone hates Mirabelle.
But weren't you earlier complaining about everyone hating her? Do you agree with it now? Because if you do, that means the previous sins about this are nullified.
You have to you stop?
Why is Abuela so determined to be mad at Mirabel? I understand that her past trauma is motivating her to go to extreme lengths to protect their home, but can she not see that the cracks are gone, the candle is bright, and her granddaughters are happy?
When has anyone who has ever been blinded by hate or dislike of something ever seen the positives? That's kind of what being blinded means. Look at the people who irrationally hate anime. They don't even want to entertain the idea that it might be something they like because they can't get past the initial disdain for it.
I will never be good enough for you, will I?
Damn it, Pixar, I will turn this video around right now if you don't stop making me feel things. Oh, that's right, this isn't Pixar, it's Disney. I should have known that by the fact that it released in theaters and was marketed well.
Jeremy sends something he likes cliche.
Murder! Righteous, but still murder.
Killing in self-defense is not murder. Where do you get your definitions? The Kremlin?